Hello everybody and welcome to Echo HQ. It's another day, and of course with the January transfer window wide open, Everton are in the rumour mill again. But today, joining me, Everton correspondent Phil Kirkbride, and it looks like Tosun is on his way out to Goodison, Phil.
Yeah, edging closer. I think it looks like talks and a move to take him to Palace.
Crystal Palace?
Is progressing and heading in that direction. I think it's been no secret that Tosun was going to be available this month. Obviously, I think that was officially confirmed this week when Marcel Brands sat down with Carlo Ancelotti and discussed the players that he would want for the remainder of the season and who he would be comfortable with seeing go. And Cenk, somebody that has been out of favour for a while, will be allowed to leave on loan, it appears, initially. And the assumption and the understanding, of course, is that the club would probably therefore look to try and sell him in the summer. And Palace, of course, have been after Tosun before we even signed him, so a long-standing interest in the player, and it does appear that he'll be heading to South London.
And do you think that kind of shows that maybe a few others could depart, certainly temporarily?
Yeah, I mean, I think as it stands, no great surprise again. Oumar Niasse and Cuco Martina are available, but of course, with both coming into the final 6 months of their deals, it would be a surprise if the club were able to sell. Loans would seem the most obvious way of sort of moving them on for the final 6 months and moving some of their wages off the balance books. As for others, January's difficult. If Everton are looking at this month as a difficult month to buy and to bring players in, and so are other clubs. So I can understand, particularly in the light of Sunday, why certain sections of support would say, look, why can't we get rid of X, Y, and Z? It's perhaps not that straightforward, and it would have to take some, significant offers, especially mid-season and with a squad in certain areas that is still light, of course, to sort of tempt Everton. And as I say, it's perhaps the bigger issue is our club's really going to be spending great deals of money in January. Unlikely. And Everton, of course, as much as there's been difficulties with certain players, and as we say, Sunday shone a torch on that, loaning those players out just to get them partially off the way, it wouldn't necessarily work like that, would it? So those three players, as it stands, are probably top of the list to be moved on. And of course, there'll be some comings and goings with the young players, as we've seen already.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see if anything else materialises, and we'll wait and see on incomings as well, because the feeling is it's not going to be particularly busy, and if there is movement, Carlo saying he would like to strengthen the squad if possible. The assumption is at this stage that it'd probably more likely be loans than anything permanent. And
just to finish then and go back to Cenk, from what you've seen of him over the last 2 years for a team like Palace, with wingers who want to get balls into the box, you think it could be a smart bit of business for him?
Well, look, we all know Cenk's limitations in the Premier League, but we also know what he's good at.
Yeah,
and he's a good finisher.
Yeah.
And so with the right supply and in the right team, and if he's able to be in the team and perform a specific role for how Crystal Palace want to play, which obviously they feel he can, then he could be a success for them. And in many ways we hope that he goes on and is a successful period for him, because while, again, and we're harking back to Sunday, we're in this period where a lot of people are questioning attitudes of players who are still here and etc., maybe still getting in the team. I don't think anybody's really questioned Cenk's appetite for it to work at Everton. I just think he's unfortunately been, certainly after his arrival in that first 6 months, I think the demands on the centre forward role at Everton have changed, and certainly the demands of playing in the Premier League have sort of caught up with him a little bit, if that's the right phrase, and perhaps shown that he isn't in the system we play, particularly perhaps not suited to be playing in the Premier League for Everton. But as I say, I don't think anybody's doubted his attitude and his appetite for it to work, and it's a shame it hasn't, but these things happen, and the feeling at the start of this week was that Everton would find a solution for Cenk this month that suited the club and the player. And with the Euros this summer, he needs to be playing regular football. And it looks like Palace will get him. Besiktas have been trying to move the numbers around and find the money to get him, but I think they appreciate that ship's probably sailed now. until the summer at least.
Well, Phil, thank you very much for joining me, and thank you very much for tuning in, and stay up to date with all the latest Everton transfer news on the Liverpool Echo website. Thank you.